And before we take a break, I want to share with you a conversation we had earlier this evening with some of the students from Central Connecticut State University's Rifle and Pistol Club, including Sara Adler, who you'll actually have a chance to meet in person if you're going to the NRA annual meeting. Sara has just been named one of the panelists for the In Their Own Words session at the NRA annual meeting. This is a great session. It's put on every year by the NRA ILA Grassroots Division, and it's all about ways that you can be a more effective advocate for your gun rights. This year, the panelists, Krista Cupp, who is a grassroots coordinator for NRA ILA, Glenn Caroline, who's the director of the Grassroots Division, Sean Maloney, who is a longtime listener to this program, and I didn't realize that Sean was on this panel until just now. I got the opportunity to meet Sean a few years ago at an NRA annual meeting, and he's a great guy. He's an NRA ILA election volunteer coordinator out in Ohio, works as a criminal defense attorney, is also an NRA recruiter, NRA certified instructor. Sara Adler is going to be a part of this. Jim Wallace is going to be a part of this. Matthew Murphy is a political activist from New Hampshire. So the In Your Own Words seminar is one of the many, many events taking place at the NRA annual meetings. This one's going to be Saturday, April the 30th at 2 p.m. Admission's free. You don't have to register for it, but you do have to attend the NRA annual meetings to actually get a chance to hear what these folks have to say. Although we'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek, because Sara Adler, one of the members of the Central Connecticut State University Rifle and Pistol Club, who joined us in studio earlier this evening. Take a listen. Well, very pleased to have with us in studio tonight some of the members of the Central Connecticut State University Rifle and Pistol Club. We have Sara Adler. How you doing, Sara?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming down from Connecticut.
Absolutely. It's great down here. The weather is amazing.
I know. It's not quite Florida for spring break, but it's close.
Close
and, you get to go to the NRA range. Also, Jack is with us. Jack, how you doing?
Excellent, thanks.
And Nate is with us as well. Nate, thank you for coming down.
You're welcome.
So you guys decided to spend a few days in the D.C. area. And obviously, if you are members of the Central Connecticut State University Rifle and Pistol Club, I'm guessing that you've gone out to the NRA headquarters?
We did. Today we were there. We saw the museum. We saw the range. We brought them up to Isla on the 5th floor to see the workshop area where everything goes down. And everyone had a great time. It was great.
Awesome. So what were you more impressed by, gentlemen, the range or the museum, or is it hard to choose?
I would have to say the museum. I would have loved to shoot on the range, but we couldn't bring anything with us. The range looked absolutely fantastic, very up to date, very modern. But like I've always been sort of a history buff for the most part. Would have loved to get on shooting, but we got to see more of the museum. So.
Well, at least there's a lot of history there for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And Sara, you said you were really impressed by the Hollywood Guns exhibit that got going on.
I love that exhibit. Yeah, I was just telling you earlier from Gran Torino, the M1 Garand is there. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. Now Nate, any particular gun that you saw that really piqued your interest today?
Oh, well, not really gun in particular, but I mean, they did have a lot of nice-looking older guns. Some designs I've never even seen before in pictures.
Oh, really? Like, do you remember any of them in particular?
There was one pistol that had 8 chambers.
A pistol with 8 chambers?
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So I'm curious, what do you guys do at Central Connecticut State University with the Rifle and Pistol Club? What's your club mission, Sara?
Well, our club mission, as it has been from the start, is to educate Central's campus as a community, to explain to people that the word gun should not associate bad. And we've been doing that through education. We do that through the NRAU program that's coming to campus on April 4th. We do it through weekly meetings where we hand out fact sheets. We do bake sales. We hand out information at tables at the bake sales. People can buy them on a brownie. They also get some information. And we just, bit by bit, try to get people to understand that, we're people like everyone else that own guns. There's nothing about us that's bad. We're legal. We're doing things properly. And just...
Now, will you all be taking an interest in the Empty Holster Protest Week that Students for Concealed Carry on campus put on?
Yes, this will be our 3rd year doing it, and it actually falls in the same week that we have NRAU coming. So we, as usual, have a busy week ahead of us. NRAU, Empty Holster Protest, we have a weekly meeting, we're going to do a bake sale, and try and do everything that week.
Wow.
Ambitious.
No kidding. And you've got to be, really excited about seeing what's going on with campus carry around the country right now. I mean, in Idaho, it's passed out of the state house and so on to the state senate side. making progress in Texas. There was a committee hearing in Nevada earlier today. Arizona passed a diluted form of campus carry on to the state house, I believe. It passed out of the state senate. So, I mean, this is the year, it seems, where campus carry is really starting to make legislative progress.
It's so exciting. I mean, they're making headway for us up in the north. It's very difficult up in New England to try and get anything through. We're just trying to do more, just get the word out there type of thing.
Yeah.
More people that do the holster protest, more people that understand the concept, the better. Even just getting our name out there, just showing that we're here. You know, getting people to understand that just because we live up north, just because a lot of people don't like guns, doesn't mean that we're not here.
I'm curious, and Jack or Nate, either one of you could answer this, but do you find that when you bring up these topics with your fellow students, is there this sort of knee-jerk anti-gun reaction that doesn't necessarily come from a lot of knowledge, but actually a lack of knowledge?
Generally, with the people that have approached us, the bake sales and opposition to what we're talking about, they don't really have a very strong fact base. It's mostly what's been repeated by the media, which isn't, it's somewhat dubious at best in terms of what they know about the matter. The easiest thing to do is simply inform them of the facts and then take it from there. Most of the time, they'll reject it just because of the fact that, you know, media is more widespread, so therefore they trust it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you'll get the people who are open enough to actually listen to what you have to say and actually reason with you as well.
And, I guess at this point, as you say, the media has been in this sort of full-throated attack against the idea of campus carry. And I've always thought it weird that their primary argument seems to be, well, college students just can't handle it. You all are too drunk, you're too drugged out all the time, and college students are too immature to handle something like campus carry. Now, again, it completely ignores the fact that we're talking about people who are already eligible and already are licensed to carry concealed. I think it's a ridiculous argument, but what's the main objection you hear from students? Is it, oh, I'm just not responsible enough, and you're not responsible enough, or is there another argument that you're hearing actually on campus?
I believe the main response is it's mostly out of fear. People it's a natural human instinct to fear what you don't understand fully. Mm-hmm. And in this situation, because of the fact that they don't have the facts and they don't have the information necessary to make a decent judgment, they're afraid of the concept of other people carrying on campus, just because of the fact that we've seen stuff where people fear things like what happened at Virginia Tech, what happened at Columbine. They don't understand that the criminal mindset is to disobey the law and disobey common safety. It doesn't matter what laws you put up, what signs you post, they're going to disobey the law because they've already made that decision to do so. Yeah. And what most of the kids on campus, they have this reaction because they think that, because what the media tells them is human beings are rational by nature, which there are exceptions to the rule that nobody wants to talk about, but it's a very real subject that people need to understand and recognize.
Yeah, it's interesting. In Nevada, at the hearing that was held today, there was a former University of Nevada student who testified that when she was on campus, she was actually raped at gunpoint by a man who later kidnapped and killed another woman and is now facing a death sentence for that. She was a concealed carry holder at the time, and she couldn't carry. But the amazing thing is, after she was raped, the university told her, okay, you can carry.
Really?
Just don't tell anybody. And, you got to continue to be a full-time student. So after the fact, they said, all right, now you can carry a firearm. Now, if that doesn't tell you, to me anyway, that the objections over this aren't legitimate objections. They are fear-based. They are, I think very political in nature. These, university officials see these faculty members perhaps get freaked out by the idea, and they don't want to upset the faculty members. But, ultimately, if you're telling a rape victim, okay, now you can carry a gun,
after the rape,
that tells me the value of carrying a firearm for self-protection. You just don't want to admit it. Yeah.
That's a horrible situation.
Yeah,
it
is.
Saying that afterwards you can carry, well, how are you going to fix the situation? That doesn't help.
I know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So do you see on your campus, do you see guys making an impact? Are you helping to educate the student body, you think?
I definitely feel that we've made an impact, especially through the professors, at least.
Yeah?
I'm kind of a known name, I guess, on campus, a crazy gun nut lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I was having a conversation just in the Student Center a couple of days ago. Somebody popped a balloon and it sounded like a gunshot. And this kid next to me goes, oh, I'm so glad we don't have guns on campus. And he had no idea who I was. So I just started talking to him, and he was like, yeah, I mean, there's that club on campus is trying to get guns on campus. So like we are known. People do know about us. We had this whole conversation. I got him to understand my idea. He was just like, yeah, I get your concept. I understand, but I still don't think there should be guns on campus. He was like, I respect your opinion, but you always hear that but. And
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm letting you talk, but I'm not actually hearing what you have to say.
Right.
And, you know, perseverance and patience. And I know that this is your senior year, knock on wood
Yes.
anyway. So hopefully next year you'll be leaving it to the capable hands of some of the other folks in the Rifle and Pistol Club, right?
My people here hopefully will be taking over. I've got a couple freshmen. I've got other people that have been sticking around a couple years, and they'll be able to take over for me.
All right. Well, listen, I'm glad you guys could stop by tonight. Enjoy your weekend in Washington, D.C., and we'll check in again during the empty holster protest. I'm very curious to see how it goes for you this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Well, Sarah, Jack, and Nate, and the rest of the folks with the Central Connecticut State Rifle and Pistol Club, thank you guys again for coming on the program tonight.